It's a great conversation. And Zach, you mentioned about guys like Sagano and having to throw that don't throw as hard and you got to pitch. Well, the Orioles do have a few of those guys, and actually two of them here on this breakdown. One of them is the away starter on Thursday, Zach Eflin, and then who's getting the home opener, Cade Povich. They're not throwing fuzz. They're not throwing gas, but they know how to pitch, and they have deception around it. So welcome into this breakdown, everyone. Again, new to the program, hit that like and subscribe button. Brian Ripken Show, do this live every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So look, Zach Eflin here is kind of one of those guys that breaks the traditional sense of what baseball is. High velo, and you're breaking off pitches. Well, in this case, Zach Eflin is kind of the opposite. Doesn't throw that high heat, or hard heat, I should say. Sits around 92 to 94 miles an hour, and 65% of his pitches are of the fastball variant. So what I'm talking about, fastball, cutter, sinker. And I'm going to show you a little bit about his arsenal here with that, and then we'll dive into a couple of his off-speed pitches and what makes him effective. One thing you can count on for Zach, he's not going to walk a ton of guys. He's going to be around the zone. But you're going to see in this first sequence against Vlad Guerrero Jr. last year, his sinker is one of his main pitches here. So let me start this off. You're going to see it. First pitch, right down Broadway. Yeah, all right, taken all the way. Great. So he's going to go back to the well there, and he's going to throw a sinker once again because that's what he likes to do. Sinker's going to run down in, and you're going to see Vlad Guerrero Jr. go chasing it, right? So 92. You can see that right there. 92. That's not gas, but he's very strategic. And you know what? You know what Zach's thinking here, and this is what I love about him? He's not maybe necessarily looking at always the analytics. He's looking at how the swing was. And if Vlad was willing to chase this pitch right here, well, why don't we throw it again one more time to see if he goes after it? And guess what? Vlad's going to go after this sinker one more time for strike three. Nasty movement on it, right? So we saw a fastball go down this way for a little sinker. Well, hey, the fastball goes this way for a sinker. Why don't we try throwing the cutter that goes that way? So in this case, we're going to see a cutter that doesn't cut too much, but the threat of the ball going one way and the other gets the hitter off balance here. So you're going to see that foul ball go down the line. Great. So now he's thinking, all right, I could go either way here. And for Zach, he's going, well, I didn't throw my best cutter there, so why don't I try to do that again? And you're seeing McCann, he's lining up. McCann's saying, hey, I want the ball right here. Well, guess what? Eflin's going, I'm going to force you to think this is in the zone, and I'm going to make you chase. So this ball is going to start kind of here, and it's going to keep running out, and we're going to say good night to the batter. Beautiful, right? You see that location off the plate, pitcher's pitch. So for Zach Eflin, that's what I love that he's capable of doing. Now, fastball variants aren't just his main thing. That's not just his bag, right? He has other pitches in the arsenal. And this is an example right here, throwing his curveball. That's one of his pitches that he has a pretty good whiff percentage on. And some cases, depending on how it is, it's on sometimes more than his slider. But the slider or curveball, it can vary a little bit. And I'll explain a little bit more. But watch Lane Thomas here. Again, here's the zone. We're looking, right? We're going to go chasing down below. Nice. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. Beautiful. Same thing here now. Another curveball. Bottom of the zone's right here. And again, we're just going to drop it off. The deception coming out of his hand. So, see if I can back that up real quick. Watch this little dip. Right? Oh, I had it. Oh, man. Come on. Freeze. Beautiful. So right up here, there's the ball, right? So as a hitter, when you think of a curveball's high, right? So I'll break that down. Kevin, I'll help you out here so you can learn. People helping people, right? Obviously for you. So when you see a fastball that breaks high, right? And that ball's up there. That's usually the one that you feel is going to be in the zone. And when you think one starts right at your stomach or below, it's going to be in the dirt. But this one's got so much bite on it. Look how high that is. That's almost at the top of his chest. So Jimenez is thinking this is going to be a strike. I got to swing. It's probably one of Zach's best curveballs of the year. and watch this thing just drop off. That's great. Just like an elevator shaft. It just drops out, right? So that's in his arsenal. And then right here, he does have a changeup. Doesn't throw it a ton, but he does have it. So again, you throw a cutter, you throw the sinker, got a four-seamer. Well, why don't I throw a changeup here that can be kind of like a sinker, but it's even slower, and it goes away from the lefties. Good pitch. Again, he doesn't throw this pitch a ton, but Zach Eflin, what I love about him is that he has a game plan. Same thing I mentioned that sliders and curveballs, sweepers can be somewhat similar. Well, this case, his slider's on. You're going to see Siri chase that ball in the dirt. So if he chased the ball in the dirt, what would you do? Would you go back to that well one more time? I think I would. So you're going to see him go even further. Let's extend it. Let's see if he chases. And the answer is yes. What I love with Zach Eflin is that he is reading the hitters, and he's not making assumptions, and he's pitching. So we talked about. That's what's going to make him successful, and that's why he is having success. Keeps the ball around the strike zone. Very smart with his decision-making.